Welcome to Chapter 7, Multiplication Properties of Exponents and Monomials. This is the first lesson. It is a great idea to copy down some notes. There are a lot of rules, unfortunately. We have a monomial, and a monomial is basically a number. It's a variable, or it's product of numbers and variables. It's only one term. One term. So numbers like 5, variables like x, product of numbers and variables like 5x. It cannot contain the following: addition or subtraction signs, negative exponents, fractional exponents, variables in the denominator. If it has any of those, it is not, I repeat, not a monomial. Are these monomials? Just gotta get this up. Well, 10 is a number, so in this case, 10 is a monomial. F plus 24 is an addition sign there. This is not a monomial. H squared? Absolutely. And what about J? It's a variable, so it should be, and it is. You want to pause it before we give these solutions? Go ahead. If not, and you want to keep going, keep going. This one isn't. We have an addition sign. How could it be a monomial? These are two monomials. The next one is just one fraction. We have a number in the denominator, and that's okay. The next one, of course, it's just numbers and variables multiplied together. And then the last one, we have an n in the denominator. This is not a monomial. Here's your first rule. I've kind of designed this so it's 3 basic rules. So here's your first one. When you multiply two powers that have the same base, you need to add their exponents. A couple of examples. B to the third times b to the fifth. Well, we have two variables that have the same base, b and b, so we can easily add their exponents. But if you're not sure, when in doubt, you could write it out. B to the third is b times b times b, times b to the fifth is just 5b's. If you add them all up, you get b to the 8th. Pretty easy. Check out example 2 while I erase this. You want to try a couple? Well, take a look at the first one. Simplify that. Well, we have two numbers that we can multiply together, and we also have two n's that we can multiply together. So 6 times 2, and then n to the third times n to the 7th, but they have the same base. You know it's all about that base. So add those, and you get 3 plus 7, which is n to the 10th. And we multiplied our 6 times 2, and that's how we got our 12. For example, B, well, we have 3. Are there any other numbers there? There is. There's a 1 right here. We just don't put it there because we assume that you know it there. But if there was a negative sign there, be careful because that would be a negative 1. But we just have a positive 1 there. So we can group all of our like terms together if you want to think about it like that. Our numbers, our P's, our T's, okay? P here is just, this is just raised to the first power. So now, because they have the same base, now we can add those exponents. So let's do that. 3 times 1, 3. P to the first times P to the third, same base, add them up. Same base, add them up. Practice these. Well, let's take a few moments. We'll show you the answers to these at a later date and time to be determined. But try these. Try these. Okay? And I'm going to check them so we can move on to the next rule. Here's your second rule of multiplying or laws of exponents is power of a power. And to find the power of a power, this is a power, this is another power. All we do is multiply those exponents. Or you can think of it as b to the third 5 times. B to the third times b to the third times b to the third times b to the third, that's 4. And then the last one, that's 5. You add them all up, we have 15 b's there. B to the 15. Same base, add the exponents. That was the first one. Rule number 2, power to another power. All you do is multiply those 2 exponents. We have something like this. We're raising a power to another power. So, simply multiply all the exponents together. Final answer, 3 times 2, there's your 6. 6 times 4, there's your 24. 2 practice examples now. Try these. We're going to check them so we can move on to the next one. Number 3. To find the power of a product, numbers and variables multiplied together. Okay? It's basically like distributing the outside exponent to everything inside. So think of it as the distributive property. This 5 is going to be distributed to that, to this monomial, to that monomial. All of the numbers and the variables, everything's getting raised to that 5th power. Before we give those, -2 being raised to the 5th. -2 to the 5th is -32. X being raised to the 5th power. Y is being raised to the 3rd, then to the 5th. Multiplying, you get y to the 15th. Here's your final answer. -32, x to the 5th, y to the 15th. Two practice examples. This 3 gets distributed here, and then everything that was raised to the 3rd is now going to be raised to the 2nd. That's the long way. Or you could just raise it to the 6th. It's up to you. But take those down, and we'll definitely go over the correct answers there to make sure we're on the right track. Now we're going to take some of these expressions and we're just going to simplify them. So basically taking everything you know, all about the base, power to a power, when in doubt, write it out, all that stuff we already covered. And now we're going to try and figure out, can we simplify these? Well, these monomials are simplified when you only have one variable left. So you couldn't in your answer have like y to the third and y to the fifth. Well, that's not simplified because you can simplify that more. The fractions have to be simplified. And no more powers of powers. So 2 to the third to the fourth. You got to simplify it. Okay. So here's the example. We have basically one problem, but it's kind of separated into two. So we can cut this right in half, kind of like this, and treat this as one problem. Distribute that 2 to everything inside. That's one way. And take care of this and raise this power to a power to a power. Or take the negative 2y and just raise it to the sixth. That's one option. But we'll take it step by step, and hopefully after this you can do a couple problems and we'll be good to go. So here's the first step. Raise everything to the left here to the second power. So that's 3 squared, x squared, y to the, it's going to be to the 8th pretty soon. And then we have negative 2 and y both being raised to the 6th because we just multiplied those power to another power. 3 squared is your 9. X squared is just x squared. There's our y to the 8th. And then negative 2 to the 6th is 64. And then y to the 6th. If you left this, though, we can still simplify exactly once. We have y's here, and we also have numbers we can multiply, too. So multiply, organize everything. All about the base down here. Final answer, 576 x squared y to the 14th. 2 practice problems for you guys to check out. If you could hit pause, see how we do with those, and hopefully we have a better understanding of laws of exponents.